Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to the Insomniac Man Up Truck Series. We're here at Richmond for the final race of the segment. It's going to be one of them interesting races for sure. Alongside of me, we got a co-host tonight. It is DJ Curtis. So we're getting ready to broadcast this race to you. The engines are fired up for 160 laps tonight. A 24-car field. Coming in this race, the championship for the segment is down to either John Wall or Rick Johnson. On the pole, it is Ian Dutta. Alongside, it is BSR Texan. You got John Wall, one of our title contenders for this segment, Robert Balcom, Zach Rogers, and Dudley Smith starting in the top six. Who are you looking to be a challenge for tonight, Curtis?
Well, I expect to see there's several drivers here, but the main key here is trying to be consistent here and try not to use up your rear tires. And I think potentially we could see Robert Balcom in a victory lane here. I think he's one of the better drivers here. We're going to see where this will turn out here as the pace car is off.
Ian Dutta's going to bring us down for 160 laps of racing tonight. Dutta brings us down and we're underway for Richmond. All ready to start off. Dutta has a great jump. Robert Balcom up in the second position. BSR Texan sliding back into third. John Wall taking a peek to the inside, but he's going to have to back down for now. As we're coming off turn number 4, Ian Dutta is going to lead the first lap. All ready to start off for the day's race. John Wall, our point leader, only by 1 point over Rick Johnson for this segment. He self-spun off of turn 4, and it brought out the caution. We happen to miss that. Wall will come back in, get some 4 fresh tires, and as the field is going to be coming to the 1 to go signal, Robert Balcom, Curtis's pick for this race, BSR Texan, Dudley Smith, and BSR Magoo. That's your top 4 with Chris Hart rounding out the top 5. We're going to get you back to the restart.
And here they come to the restart here. Robert Balcom comes into the race here as the leader. Green flag back in the air. Car number 201 had an excellent start there. And looks like that outside line might kick in, but knowing this track and the properties of it inside, this is a rather inside line racetrack here. Tires are going to wear rather quickly there. As you see, they exit turn number 2 here. Looks like a rather tame restart for a lot of these drivers. Excellent execution.
See, some guys already trying to slip and slide out there on this racetrack. You just mentioned the tire wear, DJ. What for this long of a race, for a short track, 160 laps, what do you expect here? It's still early on in the going. We already had a caution. Do you expect these guys to kind of settle in now, or what's the mindset for these guys? Oh, caution out on the track. There's a spin.
Samson looks like he got loose out of turn 2, and the truck spun around, and that collected the 102 there. Looks like BSR RJ Rusty was the one that was collected there, and that has brought out our caution here today. And well, cautions are going to be breeding cautions here, Noah, so I think at this rate we're going to have to see where the field's going to settle themselves down. I think they will at some point. We'll get ourselves a green flag run hopefully, but I think at this rate so far we've had a pretty rocky start for some of these drivers here.
Seems as though off the corner, Adam Samsel just got a little loose, running the high side. Maybe a little bit of that rear tire spin off the corner. And BSR Rusty just really nowhere for him to go, just an innocent bystander. And that took him into the wall, and we're going to bring him back for a restart. We're going to try this again. Robert Balcom is still your leader. Then it's BSR Texan leading the field down. So for this series, they usually run double file on the restarts, but if they seem to have trouble, the officials do not have a problem with bringing these cars down for single file. So maybe something to, if we continuously have cautions, maybe that they're probably going to start doing on single file. But our pole sitter, Ian Dutta, gets by BSR Texan for second.
Yeah, but you have to be aware of the crossover move there. You see Zach Rogers now in the 3 truck looking to the inside. That Dodge machine looking very strong on the radar here. We could see Zach Rogers maybe make his way to the front later on the race. We've got trouble in the back. That is the 03 truck into the wall. That is Carson Krenz. Out of turn 2, looks like we had another issue maybe with potential wheel spin there. And I think the caution may be out again, or if not, doesn't look like that might be the case here.
Still not out. That was a single car spin, and he actually kept it off the racing surface. So Carson Krenz, he's able to keep it rolling. He still had a chance to still make the Chase Championship for this race weekend. He had to really run well on Zach Rogers, but Rogers running third, and just looked like you said, DJ, just a lot of that rear wheel spin off the corner, and it's going to put him way back now, nearly a lap down. But Robert Balcom is still your race leader, but he's got Ian Dutta, the pole sitter, right behind him.
With the 56 Adam Sansel coming in a pit lane, having to serve a penalty there, and it looks like they kind of got a bit mousy back there, so I think they're all wanting to get around that lap truck there, and Adam Sansel with a very rocky start there and into the first corner.
Man, they're racing really hard together. Greg Lovell having a check up there. John Wall was there trying to fight his way back after his mess up in turn 4 to bring out the first caution. You see Steve Looney, he is on the move now inside the top 10. He is the biggest mover of the race. He started 24th. There's a car around. Oh, man. Monte Keller hung on to it. What a save there.
Yeah, great, excellent car control from the 028 car. Now going back up the track, Samsel nearly getting shoved up the hill as a result of that merge, but what a save. So here they come into turn 1. Looks like BSR Magoo, looks like he lost the truck, self-spun the car around, and barely taps the wall. That outside barrier there, looks like not much damage done to the 144 machine. It looks like he'll be able to keep on going without much of a hassle. Just gotta put some fresh Goodyear tires on that truck.
Yep, that's gonna bring out the caution. We're gonna have to line them up again. Pace truck is in as we're gonna come back for a restart once again. Robert Balcom is our leader. May I note that Carson Krenz also has no second gear, so he's going to struggle on them restarts. And also Rick Johnson, he stayed out under the caution flag. He ended up leading a lap. So that's one bonus point for him in the title hunt. And I'm pretty sure John Wall has led a lap as well. I need to get confirmation of that. So that helps out Rick Johnson in the championship bid as Ian Dutta up front just hit the wall, and Zach Rogers is down low to his inside to try and take it away.
Yeah, he went up the hill there a bit out of turn 1, but that's a proper slide jump for Zach Rogers. Textbook move to the inside, and the caution is out. We've got a crash in turn 1. Looks like Adam Sansel's wrecked again. Looks like maybe BSR Pocket's involved, as well as Dudley Smith in the 500 there. Looks like we got ourselves a multi-car wreck. Looked like Adam Sansel came out of turn 4, was chilling right behind Rick Johnson, and watched the 500 dive into the corner. It's the back end of the 56, and that sent the 56 right into the outside retaining wall there. And luckily for that barrier, it didn't really hit too hard, and with that absorption of the impact, Adam Sansel able to move that car just fine. Minimal damage done for that 56 truck. And here they come to the green flag. There it is. Robert Balcom still leading. Ian Dutta right on that bumper of that 118 car. You see the outside line trying to really get into formation there, but Zach Rogers not really going to be able to hold on to that outside groove there. As you can just see the advantage that inside line gets, and out of shape went the 028 yet again. What a save for Monte Keller. And talk about good car control. Rick Johnson maybe trying to press the issue there, backs off. And you see just how dicey these starts to get, and he's in the wall.
Yeah, oh man, contact from Magoo. Jeff Groover's around.
Of cars.
Yep, BSR Pockets is in there. Rusty's in there again.
Magoo.
Caution flag is out yet again, and there's a spin on the back straightaway involving Steve Looney.
And that's got Greg Lavelle in there too, so two trucks colliding maybe out of turn 2 looks like. They're racing it back down, and right now the leader still remains as Robert Balcom as your leader, the car 118.
It's the caution flag starts way back here with Monte Keller. It gets really loose again, but an incredible save, so they're 3 wide. Krenz on the inside wall there. Monte gets out of the gas to let Wall in. Johnson took a peek to the inside, but Keller again just gets loose. Into Eddie Lee he goes. There was just nowhere to go for Magoo and Pockets and Groover. They all went around on the front straightaway. Meanwhile, we had more wrecking going on.
And there was a secondary wreck coming out of turn 2, yet again in the trouble spot there, and Greg Lavelle just went up the racetrack, hit Steve Looney, and both cars went spinning into the inside wall in the back straightaway. And it looks like they're able to keep on going, but that's going to maybe cause a bit of a hustle for those two drivers. They're going to have to make their way back up to the front yet again.
Yeah, and that was a tough break for Steve Looney. He came from so far back. He had started back in 24th, was in the 6th position when that happened, and he's going to have to work his way all the way back up again. Robert Balcom again. He's been leading the charge for a while, but Ian Dutta, what a jump on the start he got. Really beat Robert Balcom to the line and was able to beat him in a turn 1. Balcom not wanting to give up, but he hits that apron.
I don't know if that 032 will get a black flag for that. We're going to have to wait and see where that comes into play, but I think they're clean on that. I think Balcom was fine with that. I think he probably just stated he might have spun the tires there. As you see, the 028 coming in there near the back, serving his penalty there, and there goes the 03 spinning around down the front straightaway, 360, and keeps it off the wall way down the front stretch anyway, but caution out again, and well, looks like Carson Krenz in more trouble on the racetrack.
Yeah, just Carson Krenz, he's not having a very good day, is he? Just been having some troubles, but really not of his own doing there. Kind of like looked like Eddie Lee got into him on the straightaway, but he just did a 360, like you said, DJ, and spun it around. He'll have to come in to get some tires after that, but no harm, no foul.
Well, coming to the 1-to-go signal here and to the restart, they've gone to single file this time around, so Ian Dutta will be inheriting that lead here over Balcom. Green flag back in the air, the 032 with an excellent start. Yet again, Ian Dutta surely know what he's doing on the track here. As you look near the rest of the field here, using a bit of the other cams around the track, you see Zach Rogers quietly running that third spot. Excellent run for that Dodge automobile there. And everybody else trying to really get themselves composed here. We've had a rocky first half of the race here, and hopefully we can get a better stint here as the race progresses.
Yeah, hopefully maybe this choice by the officials to make them go single file on the restarts will get us into some green flag runs as we're looking further back. We just talked about not too long ago that Steve Looney got in a wreck, had to go to the rear. He's back inside the top 10, but the top 3 are pulling away, DJ. You got Ian Dutta and Robert Balcom and Zach Rogers. They are going at it for the lead.
Ooh, Rogers did nick the wall a bit out of turn 4 there. Still an excellent run for that 3 machine there. Him doing rather fantastic. They're using that apron a bit, you notice there, on turns number 1 and 2. Do you think that could add some grip to that racetrack there for their trucks themselves?
I think you need to get to the inside as low as you can be, but just not hitting that apron. Now, they're obviously doing a good job right now. Top 3 are pulling away. But a battle for the lead. Robert Balcom to the inside.
Ooh, Rogers tried to spill in that hole there, but Dutta denied that 3 truck whatsoever. Rogers was denied that second spot there, and Robert Balcom, like you said, has just taken the lead away. Dutta looks like he might be fading back on this run here, as it looks like maybe the tires could be kicking in. The rear tires could be wearing off here.
It looks as though he might be overdriving the corner. You see him going in a little high. I mean, he looks like he's trying to get an arc through the corner, but Dutta made an aggressive move to slide down in front of Rogers there, and it worked, and it's put him in a second. He needs to get back in a groove if he wants to take the lead back from Balcom. Oh, trouble for Zach Rogers. He's around in a Dennis Chambers. Jerry Walters trying to avoid Chris Atkin hard on the brakes to get by Zach Rogers. Oh, and there's more contact. Steve Looney's in there. Jerry Walters, like we had said. Man, just looked as though maybe Zach Rogers self-spun it there.
Yeah, it looked like he probably got loose out of turn 4, self-spun the car around, trucks just trying to avoid the wreckage, and Jerry Walters was one of the people that were trying to avoid the wreck, and self-spun the car around, overcorrected there in the grass, and then got hit by a couple more trucks there. Just these trucks are all hard on the brakes. There's no place to go at such a narrow track like Richmond.
Yeah, just Zach Rogers, he was running in the 3rd position there, DJ. One of our top drivers of the night that was running pretty solid. He's just a little sideways, and I don't think he expected it to snap around on him.
I think once you know you're sideways, you either, 1, have to save it, or 2, hold on for dear life, and Zach Rogers certainly had to hold on for dear life there. He got hit there by that white truck of Dennis Chambers there, and then you see the 041 there out of control out of turn 4, and he hit the brakes there, got in the grass there. Once you hit the grass, you lose so much traction. Holding the wheel to the left there, trying to get out of the outside groove's way there. You don't want to slide up the track and cause up more ruckus there, but by then, people are just committed to their line, and just the 121, nowhere to go. The 201, also on the brakes as well. Just no place to go for these drivers.
Yeah, just really a hard place for anyone to really go. Just everything happens so quickly here at Richmond, but it was a good little green flag run we had going there. We're going to have to go back for a restart.
Ian Dutta stayed out of pit lane here. He will be leading us down to the green. There it is yet again. Robert Balcom in that second spot trying to chase down that 032. He's on fresher tires here. We're going to see the impact and the difference between the tire wear between those cars. Old tires versus new tires on this short track here. And well, a lot of these drivers will get extremely competitive here with those new tires kicking in. You want to get as many track positions as you can.
Trouble, trouble. Chris Hart, he had to check up and really bottled the field up, but there was no there was a caution.
There
Thought he actually saved it, but there was a caution out for that as they're racing back to the finish line. Ian Dutta brings us under the yellow.
Yeah, see, coming into turn 1, looked like Chris Hart got hard on the brakes there. Might have hit the brakes a bit too hard there. The car steps out underneath that 12 machine, that 112 machine to be exact. And the car, see, the truck really just drifts into turn number 1. He's just trying to hold on there. And watch the 028 trying to slow down. Great avoidance there. Everybody's just hard on the brakes there. But watch the back half of the field there. The 65 gets hit from behind there. And from assistance from the 102 and spun the truck around. Very much just a chain reaction wreck there that has brought out our caution here. No damage done here. These trucks are pretty much very volatile and durable, to be exact. Well, that's what the reason these trucks are invented.
Ian Dutta, Robert Balcom. As we're coming to the halfway point, those two drivers have been probably our best drivers of the night, as they've been the most competitive and they've been at the front ever since the green flag dropped. So they have been the best cars. But I mean, Dennis Chambers, John Wall, and there's Carson Krenz after some troubles. Even Rick Johnson, he started outside the top 20. Johnson needs to get up there with John Wall. Both John Wall and Rick Johnson both have led a lap, so it's all going to come down to Rick Johnson having to beat John Wall by 2 positions for the title of this segment. And that battle for the championship is going to be fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, bit of a battle near the back there. Adam Samsel trying to press the issue there. You see a lot of 3 wide acts. Almost made it 3 wide. They decided to back off. I think they knew better than that.
Yeah.
But they still went 3 wide though. Wow.
Dudley Smith
Great
there.
move though.
It worked out. Not so much for Steve Looney, as he dropped like 5 positions in that corner. But Zach Rogers trying to make his way back to the front, trying to claw his way back after his troubles. Some guys hitting the wall further on back. But further up the field, it's still Ian Dutta and Robert Balcom. Dennis Chambers trying to hang on with them, but Balcom and Dutta have been the best cars. Balcom looking for a way around Dutta. Oh, Monte Keller, we just bringing it back to these guys. They continue to race hard. Jerry Walters trying to cut clear of all that mess. There's Jeff Groover to the inside of Keller, who's had a bit of a not the best night he's been wanting. So he's been kind of really loose since this run started. So these guys, they've been racing really hard back there.
Track position's really key here at Richmond Motor Speedway, or International Raceway to be exact. But you really just need to get as many track positions as you want to get here on the racetrack. If you want to get up front on the restart here, that's going to help you quite a lot here. That's going to be a fundamental key of the race here, as well as tire wear here. So looking back near this back half of the field here, they're really just bottled up. They're all wasting their tires here. You see how aggressive these drivers will get in turn 1, the entry and the exits. You can tell a difference between the driving styles of each individual driver here in the series.
Battle for 5th, Greg Lovell down low of Carson Krenz, trying to take that position away. But further up, we got a battle for the lead brewing between Balcom and Dutta. Balcom took a look to the inside of Dutta the last lap, wasn't able to make it work. Dennis Chambers is hanging in with these guys. He's running pretty solid right now. He's our main season title contender here. He's been leading the points all season long for the main season. But not for this segment, though. He's that honors has gone to John Wall, but it's not been a cakewalk. Rick Johnson's been making it tough on him, but as you can see, the wad of cars here: Jeff Groover, Adam Samsel, Chris Hart. They're still racing hard with each other further back. Adam Samsel really loose there. These guys, like DJ was saying, that the tire wear, they've just been burning their tires off, haven't they?
Yes, indeed they have. You see, really, Samsel just smacking that wall repeatedly here at this track. Probably not getting the handle of the car, maybe complaining that the car might be pushing a bit too much with that truck there, but certainly not happy. And
Monte Keller, again, him and Adam Samsel have been fighting their race cars, but they have been having some amazing saves out there. Rick Johnson, like we were saying about the championship, he was right there close to John Wall, but Rick Johnson, he's kind of been struggling. Zach Rogers has been one that's been moving forward, but Johnson has been moving backwards as he's now outside of the top 10. Not the run Johnson needs for tonight's race, as Rogers and Looney take that position away from Johnson.
Dutta has maintained that lead for quite well here, but here they come out on turn 4. Dutta overcorrects, hits the wall, and here comes Robert Balcom down to the inside line. Into turn number 1, a hard braking zone, and the 118 retakes the lead. Robert Balcom and Ian Dutta are certainly two drivers to look at for tonight. They've been swapping the lead, and mistakes like that could be crucial here near the end of this race here. That could cost you a potential victory here in this series.
Luckily, it's still early on in the going, but Ian Dutta, you can't be making little mistakes like that, especially when you got Robert Balcom breathing down your neck. Dennis Chambers is right there with these guys as well, but man, way to be there for Balcom. But Dutta, these tires are wearing down, so you can't be getting on the gas too hard or you're going to want to recorrect. But Balcom is back out front. However, the caution flag would come out. Adam Samsel, again, having troubles off turn 2. Got on the gas a little too hard, spun it around, and the caution flag waves for this. And we're going to line them back up for another restart.
Coming to take the restart yet again, Robert Balcom remains as your leader. Dutta in second, green flag in the air. Dutta hesitated there for a moment, as if you're wondering about car 56, they have parked the car, put that car behind the wall, and Chris Hart was the lucky dog recipient there on that restart there. But looking back to the lead there, it looks like they've kind of settled themselves down, but Dutta still very aggressive. And on that bumper, that 118, those two are certainly the class of the field here today.
And here comes your segment title contender here, John Wall. He's having a good outing right now in third. Dennis Chambers has been really solid, but up front a battle for the lead. Dutta's trying to make that work on the high side.
Great exit off of turn 2 there. Ian Dutta on the bumper, the 118 down the inside. He's looking low, decides to back off, maybe trying to get that 118 to slide up the racetrack here and up the hill at turn 4. And looks like that's going to be successful for Ian Dutta's case here, and they're going to be side by side.
What a great job by him and Robert Balcom. Balcom gave him some room, had enough respect for Dutta to let him have the inside when he stuck his nose in there. But here, look at Robert Balcom fight back.
Excellent crossover maneuver there from the 118 there on the inside line again. Robert Balcom very strong here. Looks like both those two are pretty even. Dutta's going to get the proper run off of turn 4 there, but look who's in third. John Wall, like you mentioned, a championship contender there, or a segment contender to be exact. And those two are still side by side. Dutta's actually impressive on that outside groove. I got to give shout-outs to him there.
Oh, caution! Zach Rogers hard in the wall. Eddie Lee's back there. Carson Krenz is in there. Monte Keller, caution flag is out. If caution flag came out for this, Zach Rogers blew a motor heading into turn 1. Carson Krenz and Eddie Lee didn't expect that, and a lot of cars had to check up for it. Damn, man, that was a tough break for Rogers.
I think some might have slipped in the oil there. That's why you might have seen the 028 spin in the back. Might have slipped in some of that fluid there, and that's probably why you saw the separate incident back there. But yeah, what a tough break for Zach Rogers there in the 3 truck there. That is an unexpected blow up from that engine there, and certainly not what he wanted to end the night with today. Robert Balcom will lead us back to the restart yet again. These top 2 have become inseparable here. Green flag back in the air. The 118 of that Fastenal truck there looking very good on this radar here. I really think this top 3 is pretty much going to be the top 3 of most of tonight here, because Dennis Chambers has been chilling in that 3rd spot, but you don't want to count him out. 3rd place, you could be in the catbird seat here in terms of the top 2 maybe messing up or racing a lot harder than they could be. As you see Dutta with an excellent run off a turn 4. Talk about great acceleration from the 032 and down the inside. He breaks it really late in the turn 1 and is able to get the spot away, but he washes up the track.
Man, I'm telling you, this battle between Robert Balcom and Ian Dutta have been one of the best to watch here. We saw that in the last green flag run, and they continue to run very well. You see Dutta, he's able to work that outside line, but Robert Balcom able to slide up in front of him.
Dutta hit the wall a bit out of turn 4 there, and they're still really neck and neck, close to close fenders for each other here, this top 3, but mainly the top 2, and Dutta getting loose out of turn 2, having to fight the race car. There, you can definitely tell how loose the setup is, or that 032 car.
Yeah, we got about 50 laps to go, and you know how track position is really key, and the caution flag is out. BSR Pockets has went around, and that's going to bring out the caution yet again. We're going to get you a replay of what happened. Yep, just heading into turn 1, and it looks as though maybe it looked like BSR Pockets just overdrove the corner a little bit. Looney was right on him, but I don't think he got into the back bumper of him. Just Pockets went around, and it was a tough break for him because he had worked his way inside the top 10, but he's had some unfortunate circumstances in this race, like a bunch of people have. We're going to get you back to a restart. Coming back to the green, we only have about 45 laps to go. The top 9 chose to stay out on them old tires. So we're going to have to see how old versus new plays out. Jerry Walters is your race leader over BSR Magoo. Then you got Chris Hart, Chris Atkin, and Steve Looney. And then you got Monte Keller, Rick Johnson, Eddie Lee, BSR Hot Rod. Those 9 drivers have stayed out. And behind them, you see Ian Dutta trying to go around him on the outside line. And there's Robert Balcom, Dennis Chambers, the best cars all night, it seems. They're trying to fight their way forward, but Jerry Walters is your leader for now. But you see, looking Dutta nearly 3 wide on Hot Rod, having a break for them.
Oh, then 65.
Up. Yeah, checking up.
Oh, there they go, the 65.
Hot Rod sideways
no, he's not.
in front of John Wall, and in trouble with Dudley Smith. Hot Rod's around and in trouble. Caution flag is out and into.
And he gets hit
really hard.
Yep, heavy left side damage. You see the left side caved into that 65 truck. I'm not quite sure what happened there. So much was going on at turn 2. They were 3 wide. Ian Dutta, you saw him make an aggressive movement in the first corner there. Got loose there. You might have noticed that there. I think it really just led to a massive chain of events there.
Yeah, BSR Hot Rod, that is going to be the day over for him. So you see off the corner here, you got Dutta having a huge run trying to make it 3 wide, but Hot Rod kind of doesn't really give you much room there.
Yep, the car stepped out from the 032, watch the 65, he just gets loose out of turn 2 there. Either that or something broke. Eddie Lee hits the wall, and just veering out of control, you just overcorrect the race truck, and 65 went spinning into the outside wall into turn 3. Car on the throttle trying to get back down the track, and then the 102, nowhere to go. Slams the left side of that 65 truck, and they're calling it a night, like you said, for Hot Rod. Tough break for him. He was trying to get back up there in terms of track position, and it's not going to help his case here today. Jerry Walters will be leading us down to the green flag yet again. We've had quite a lot of cautions here in this smash fest of Richmond, but this 041 car has gotten into some trouble, but not as much as he's wanted to today. Or, I think not as much as he expected, to be exact. As you see there, looking in second, BSR Magoo. In car number 144, there you see the 19 there, also sitting in that 3rd spot. We haven't talked much about him. He's been wanting to make himself present on the field, but the battle for the lead could be on here. Let's see what that 144 does. Backs off into the corner into turn 1, maybe trying to get that proper arc there out of the corner, not able to really recapture that whatsoever.
Yes, a lot of these guys are still playing the strategy of being on these older tires. I'm not sure if they have enough fuel to stretch it to the end. It's going to be quite a stretch if they can. Oh, Jerry Walters a little loose up front, but top 5 right here have not pitted for a while, and the guys on fresher tires, you see Ian Dutta and you see Dennis Chambers. Like, Chambers has been very quiet. Oh, in front of him though, Steve Looney hit that wall. He's gonna fall back a little bit, but like I was saying, oh, trouble again for Magoo. Got bumped by Chris Hart, I think that was. Not sure if he got loose or if he was tagged, but up front, a battle for the lead.
Yep, Chris Atkin looking on the inside line, trying to get the car a bit loose just to get the proper turning point there. And Chris Atkin, now your new leader there. We haven't seen this 19 car up to P1 in quite some time, and I don't think he's really been up there at all whatsoever. So this is quite new for this 19 car. There to see run up front here. Wonderful job for Chris Atkin.
Atkin looks like he's pretty good when the tires are worn out, but I'm telling you, you got to look out for Dutta and Chambers. Them new tires are really paying off for them guys, and they're moving to the front.
The front of
Here
the pack.
comes Ian Dutta to the inside of Jerry Walters. Dutta with them fresh tires, been charging his way to the front. And Dutta just, them tires are paying off big dividends for him as he looks to go for the lead.
Yep, you see Chris Atkin, he actually made a mistake out of turn 2 there, hit the apron there. That's what really cost you a lot of time. But Ian Dutta got loose
really
out of
sideways.
turn 4.
Here comes
Yeah,
Chambers
he got
the
indeed sideways
3
there.
wide for second. Oh man, Looney was smart enough to back off a little bit there. But Dutta sliding up.
He's looking lower down the racetrack. Atkin puts the block.
Oh, Balcom got into Looney. What a save by Steve Looney. Man,
they're just getting stacked up there.
Oh, man, sideways. Dudley's. Oh, man, I thought he was going to spin it. They were 4 wide for a second. What a great battle for the leaders up front.
Oh,
man, Dudley gets into Chris Hart. Hart's around.
I don't know if that was retaliation or not, but I think that might have been pure accident. We might never know, but the caution is out again. But
Man.
What a race here. These closing laps have definitely kicked into play here, and the repercussions, old tires, certainly was the showcase here, but Chris Atkin held on for dear life there.
Man, that's Dudley's second wreck too, and that's going to put him out of the race. Yeah, here's one wreck. I thought Chris Hart might have got into the Magoo, but he actually got really loose, but Chris Hart did not get into him.
Out of camera, we didn't notice the 103 of Carson Krentz actually parked the car, and he got hit from Dudley Smith there, and, well, he kind of gave up there, and the car just slams the inside wall, hard impact to the barrier, and that ends his night there. Tough break for Carson Krentz. He's had an up and down day, lost second gear early on, and, well, his night has come to an end indeed here at Richmond.
Here's a move here by Robert Balcom. He tried to get the inside of Looney. I think he thought Looney was going to give him the position, but Looney, what a save this was. He kept it straight. But ultimately, right here, you saw Dudley Smith get really loose, and he had a great save as well. But coming into turn one, just locked up the brakes and got into Chris Hart. Didn't look like anything intentional, but that was a wreck on his own doing, and it was the second wreck of the night. And with the rules here in Insomniacs, 2 wrecks of your own doing, you're parked for the night, and Dudley Smith will be behind the wall.
It'll be 25 laps to go here. Ian Dutta will be leading us down here for the green. There it is, back in the air, the car. 118 there of Balcom, looking very strong. Excellent restart from him, but Dutta trying to pull away here on those tires there. But the 19, if you're wondering about him, and he got loose out of turn 2. What a save.
Yeah, but they have cycled out with pit stops, so everyone else that did stay out, like Jerry Walters, Greg Lovell, and Chris Hart, a bunch of them that were staying out the past time, they are now back in. But it is back to our top 3 contenders here, like we had talked about. Dutta, Balcom, and Chambers. Atkin is in the picture as well in the 4th spot.
Got a caution.
Caution flag is out, apparently, and it has involved Monte Keller and Chris Hart.
In the turn 1, oh man, Monte Keller got loose there, and no place to go. Rick Johnson did hit the front end of the, or had his front end pretty much banged up there, and that's really just unfortunate there. Multiple car incident.
As we come back to the restart, it'll be less than 20 to go. Interesting strategy here. Ian Dutta, Robert Balcom is your leaders, but everyone behind them has a little bit of fresher tires. Dennis Chambers, Chris Atkin, Steve Looney, they are licking their chops because the front 2, even though they've been the best cars tonight, they do have a little bit of fresher tires on the front, on the leaders here. So Dutta and Balcom are going to need to really baby their cars and baby the tires for the later stage here, but they still look really good out front.
There's a battle for the lead here. Looks like Balcom looking on the inside. Dutta on that outside line. They're on older tires. Dutta getting loose. Holds on to it, but there you see the 10 car, Dennis Chambers. Remember, he's on fresher tires. Where are the lap times going to kick in for those 3? And you see out of turn 4, Robert Balcom takes the lead away from Dutta. Dutta's going to fight back. He's going to try and do a cross over the inside.
Oh, man, Balcom broke. He ended up breaking really early. Dennis Chambers to the inside, having to check up on the apron. Man, what a checkup he had. Nearly, he clips the wall as well. Balcom takes the lead. Dutta hangs on to second. Chambers going to have to regroup now and try and gather it back up again. Dutta and Balcom here are really on these old tires, just slipping and sliding. Coming to 10 to go, Chris Atkin just got by. Steve Looney, Greg Lovell looking to take a position as well. 10 laps to go now. Up front, Dennis Chambers with some fresher tires, looking low of Ian Dutta now, trying to take that position away.
Oh, he got loose in a
sideways,
turn 1,
nearly into Ian Dutta. He had to check up a whole lot there, and Chris Atkin's going to follow suit into 3rd now. Gets underneath of him. It's going to hurt Dennis Chambers a lot because he was sitting in the catbird seat. Dutta's really loose there, really sideways.
Yeah, he's going to lose a lot of time to Robert Balcom there. Balcom with almost a second lead over Ian Dutta there. And the back half of the field, looking at Chris Atkin and Dennis Chambers, those 2 are now going at it. I think the guys on fresher tires definitely don't want this to happen because they want to catch those on those older tires there because they're a lot more in terms of the wearability, a lot more with less grip.
Dennis Chambers now going after Ian Dutta for the 2nd position. Chambers struggled to get by Dutta earlier, and now finally does, but Dutta's not going to go down without a fight. Chambers goes in with a defensive line in a turn 3 to keep Dutta from dive bombing turn 3. But Chambers, I don't think he's got enough time or a good enough car to actually run down Balcom. He's running a pretty solid run right now.
Yeah, he ran about a 10th faster that time around, but Balcom is just running very consistent laps on the radar. We're going to see where the intervals may differentiate here in these next couple of laps, but I think this 118 car is smooth sailing unless he makes a massive mistake that could cost him. But otherwise, I think pretty much Dudda's fate is sealed. He's not going to be able to win this one. But Dennis Chambers is dependent on those newer tires here. He did gain another 10th that time around there, or a couple 2/10s that time. But I think we're going to have to wait and see where Dennis Chambers may end up here today.
2 laps to go now. Dennis Chambers, who has been on top of the MUTS Championship for the main season all year long, is trying to run down one of the short track aces of the Insomniac series. And Robert Balcom on these older tires has been able to dominate this race alongside Ian Dutta, but he's got a shadow behind him of Dennis Chambers, who has been right there with Balcom all race. The white flag is out in the air now. Balcom, that lead has been chipped every so slightly by Chambers, but it's going to come up short, it looks like.
Yep, looks like Chambers dived into turn number 3 really hard, trying to get a good exit, but it's not going to be enough, and Robert Balcom takes victory here at Richmond. What a run for car number 118. Certainly a well-deserved victory, one of the class acts of the field here, and you see the field just getting a bit wonky near the end, but that's just them at the end, and Ian Dutta giving a congratulatory gesture there, same to a couple more others there, but what a race here at the end. Quite a wreck fest, but once we got to some good old racing, we certainly found some today.
And focusing in on the championship of the segment, John Wall finished 8th while Richard Johnson finished 12th. That is good enough for John Wall to seal the championship for the segment, while Robert Balcom takes home the win. He was able to hold off a hard charging Dennis Chambers there at the end. Chambers had a really good run at Balcom at the end, but it just wasn't meant to be. Balcom takes home another Insomniac victory and closes out the segment win. And he's just been on a tear here in this series and takes it home like we said. But him and Ian Dutta were the class of the field, and when Ian Dutta slacked there at the very end, Balcom was just able to pull away, and he takes the victory. Down here in Victory Circle, Robert Balcom, who had a very good car tonight, was up front most of the day, battled for the lead, led a lot of laps. Robert, at the end we saw you and Ian Dutta have to stay out, and a lot of the field kind of came down and pitted. You guys decided to stay out there and was able to hold off a hard charge in Dennis Chambers. Talk about that run and talk about the finish of that race.
Oh yeah, that's the first time I really ran a couple races with I think you said Ian, and we had a great battle up front. I was able to save my tires. I didn't really run them hard because I figured I was gonna have a caution there at the end, and track position was so key out here. I mean, it was just tough to pass, and I figured if I could get around Ian, that him and Dennis would battle enough that I could save enough that I just kind of started being real easy there at the end because it'd get real loose if you wasn't careful on the throttle. But once we got green flag racing, it was fun. We had a heck of a battle up front.
Yeah, we saw a lot of drivers having a lot of wheel spin. Like you said, the tire conservation out there, it just looked like Ian Dutta wasn't able to keep up right there at the very end. Like you said, tires just was a big key, and track position was too, but able to save the tires enough right there at the very end and pull it off.
Oh yeah, it was great. Like I said, it was a lot of people really like to run it off in there hard tonight, I noticed, and turn it in the center, and then that's what was heating their tires up. I felt like because I was rolling out probably 3 to 4 cars earlier than most people, and I was just able to get back in the gas and get that run off the turn. That seemed to be what made the difference there at the end.
Well, you sure ran a good race, and congratulations on that win there, man.
Oh, I appreciate all you guys do over here. If anybody out there listening want a great place to run, so I'm over here. I mean, if you watch the race, you see a great group of guys, friends, and on and off the track. So that's what matters the most. But I appreciate you guys having me up.
Down here with John Wall, he just finished in the 8th position for tonight. He just locked up the Segment 2 championship. Him and Rick Johnson were the main contenders for that, only coming in this race by 1 measly point. But both of our championship contenders here just didn't really seem like they were that fast, but they were able to. John Wall just seemed more superior right there at the very end. John, you finished 8th today, and you was able to clinch the championship. Talk about that race and what it means to be able to win this segment championship.
Well, it was a lot of fun, that's for sure. I definitely got myself in the 8 ball right off the bat. I think self-spun there with a lap 5 or 6 or something like that. So I knew I was kind of on the kind of salvage mode and kind of stay out of the way and do what I can to try to survive to the end. And that's basically what I try to do, just stay out of the way and run a clean race. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. You know, Rick, actually toward the end of the race, him and I were running side by side. And, I think we avoided a couple of wrecks together, so it was a lot of fun. You know, I enjoy racing with Rick. He's always clean. I'm always clean, you know, back to him. So it makes it that much better when you know you can trust and race the guys around you points, you know, in a respectful manner.
Coming in for the final segment, down the home stretch, like we got the playoff system coming up soon. How do you think you're going to be able to deal and possibly trying to win the title over there?
Well, the majority of the season, you know, everybody kind of runs their own little schedule. You know, I've always kind of made it a point to try to run as many races as I can, because that's really how you're gonna move up in points. Just kind of points race your way up. And I've got a couple of wins earlier in segment 2, so that kind of helped out a lot for sure. As far as going into the chase, I don't know. It's a crapshoot now because everybody's all back together. But you know, hopefully I've got enough bonus points to kind of keep me up there and make our way through the rounds, and hopefully be one of the last 3 on that final race going into Homestead, and see what we can do then.
All right, good run to you, and congratulations on your championship.
Thank you very much. 2 for 2. Let's try to go for one more.